Good day. Thank you again for joining us in this overview series that helps you get some background as to what the different features actually do in the system. What we're going to look at today is the short courses um, feature of the system, and this is just setting up those short learning programs. So what we do is we select short courses, and you can click add a new short course because it's a new one that you need to create. When you look at these, you'll have name on reports, inquiry form, and application. So the name is a name you want to understand it by when you're looking in the system. The name on reports is the name that you'd like to display on any reports that are generated. The name on the inquiry form is the system has its inquiry page, as I mentioned in previous videos, and so you can decide how you'd like it to display on the inquiry page. Name on application form is when somebody comes and applies online, what do you want the title or the name to be on that page? So you could have all of the same. So I'm just going to put demo. And by default, it fills out all of them for you. But you could put a and so you can have different names. The other thing you can do is give it a code. So you need to do that because the system needs code sometimes in certain areas where the title may be too long and there's a lot of detail on the page. It will then have the option for the code to be displayed. Then you can fit more data in those reports. If you have a credit-bearing program, you can say what's the minimum credits that the person will attain in doing this course. You can also set the learning level and also give it a minimum and maximum time that they have to complete. The prospectus summary, this is again a page that allows you to build an online prospectus for your learning program, where you are able to say what the learning program is about, what it will cover. When they click on the more option to see more about the program, there'll then be this this section that will display, and it's basically the stuff you want them to know before registering for the course. So what do they need to know before they register? Are there any other costs that they need to be aware of? Is there any paperwork they now need to have on hand because it's going to be needed to be uploaded? So it's anything, final information that you want them to know before they start the course. Okay, so once you're happy with that information, you can click Save. I'm just going to use this, how to set up a short course. And so you now have this course. So my options, I said that it's going to cover all the stuff in terms of the course. Let's use a different one that isn't so well set up. So see, you can put in that. The other thing I wanted to show you was you can add links. So you could upload a file that you want them to download or link to another website. The other thing that you're able to do is do an image. That's fine. There's no problem with doing an image. If you have one that you want to upload, you just upload it and then you can link it and the image will display there. So that is now attended to. We then move on and say which of our campuses are going to be offering this particular course. We do that. Now, because this is different, because you are managing different batches of learners that are going to come throughout the year, we look at it in terms of managing courses, managing groups. So I'm going to have different groups of students that are going to come through and are going to be studying with us in batches throughout the year. I'm going to use a simple example. All I was doing was setting up that our registrations are open all the time, and the groups that are going to be available are going to be these specific groups. Let me change it because I just want to be more finicky about my stuff. We're only dealing with stuff in the second half of the year for this year, so I just want those things to display going forward. I'll come back here later and change things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, let's say we had a March group. Okay, and so that's March 2020, and they were there from the 2nd of March. It's online, so we'll say that they had access from the 1st of March through to the end of March. Okay, so we save this, and you'll see automatically it's closed because it doesn't fall within that date range. So I'm just going to change that quickly, and I'm going to set this to have the whole year open from January, and now you'll see that this is available. I'm going to change that a bit later. So the next thing we want to do is I want to add another group because I want people to come in July. So I'm going to have a July group. And obviously they're going to be there. It's a month's course, so they're going to be there from the 1st to the end of July. Okay. So now we have these. So if I hadn't managed it with that, and I'm like, oh, we're done with March. I don't want to take in any more people for March. Let's say it was in March. I can then force close it, and then only July will be available as a selection. Well, now we're going to have, let's say that I also have a September group. Okay, so now these two will display when it comes to the ability to select what you're going to study. Now the information capture wizard, I'm going to go through. You may have watched our qualification one where I went through that one in detail for applications. So you can fast forward. I'm just going to go what it is and what you can do with it. So in this example, I'm going to add a new wizard, and think of this as your online registration form. Okay, so because this is your online registration form, what you can do is you can allow them to capture their own data and then choose when they want to study. So because they're going to choose when they want to study, this message it's going to be something that's going to be skipped for them because they're going to go all the way through to the end. They're not going to be stopped after their data is collected. They're also going to get the ability to select a course. So let's just make this online form. So on this online form, what we're going to do is we're going to get basic information from them by default, which is going to be their name, surname, and email address. We are then going to do the additional stuff. This is a default, it's personal information. So we have stuff where you can choose that maybe you only want to get their mobile number and you only want their postal address. Okay, so you have that set up. Or you can add more stuff. You can say that you'd like certain documents to be uploaded, identification numbers, stuff like that. You can add that in here, or you can add a new step and maybe you want to add some identity information to that. So then you can say, okay, I want identification number, and I want them to upload an identity document. Okay, so now they can go through this and cover that. The other thing that happens here is you're able to, on these different steps, there's different configuration things you can have. You can send them activation, send the applicants activation links, so that they can manage their own online profile, so that you know when they get to the end and you've dealt with payment stuff and everything else, they can log in and access any course material they need to. You can have that all functioning. Yeah, the other thing you can do is add people who will review. These are staff that you can notify, and then they'll come in and only they allowed to allow it to proceed past that particular point. So once that's set up, you can set that as active, and now you have this online form which is ready to be used for that course. A short course, if you want to copy it to any other short courses, you can do that by selecting that copy option, and then you can say, I want it to go to all of these, and then you can copy it across to them as well once you're comfortable with it. The next thing you can do is deal with set up how payments will be done. So you can set emails that they'll get once they've selected the groups that they want to study in. On the page where they're going to deal with their payment information and uploading proof of payment, what emails do you want them to be sent by default after doing that? Because they can only select the group that they want to study in, so when they're going to study it in the year, and then the payment option, that's the only two things that they can do. Payment confirmation then goes to a staff member, and finalizing it goes to a staff member. So what you need to be able to do then is you need to notify the staff to say, okay, somebody has just submitted their payment information. You can add them in here. We have a more detailed version of this for setup, but you can add them in here, and then they can go through and be notified, and then come through to the system and then deal with that and take it forward. Then payment settings is just if you want to have payment terms or any other costs associated with it. And then settings is that you can now display the applications page that will have that prospectus for you. You can allow people to register online. You can allow them to choose the group at the start, and then you can say enforce whether you want proof of payment and stuff done to proceed. So that's all the stuff that you need to do to set up, and you know that course is set up. What this registration section will show you is how far the registrations are. So the people who have started are the people who have who are in their data collection phase. So you know that they've started, but they haven't actually gotten to payments and that for your short course. So they're stuck at the beginning basically, and their information is being collected. Then when they get to the end, you know that they are now linked to the course. The next thing is from this page, that's an overview page, you're able to, and you can also restrict it to maybe you are only interested in the learners that came through in June. So you can see everybody in the month of June. There's only one person. So you can have a restricted view or your full view. Whatever overview you're looking for, you'll have that. So now what we're going to do is we can start a new registration, but it's the same thing, yeah, where it's going to bring you through to here, and you can fill in the person's first name, last name, surname, first name, last name, and the email address, and then you can go through and collect their data, or they'll do it externally. So I just want to go back, and now I'm going to look at, so we know what registrations does. It gets the data collected, and then you can put them into a certain group, so you know when they're attending for that particular course. And then the last one is the registrations one. So currently, you can see that some of these are open for a while, but like this one hasn't got a registration period set up, and there's no groups available. So what would mean is, for any of these other courses that are offered, someone could go in and select a group, but for these 4 courses, someone will go in and there's no group for them to select, so a registration can't actually happen for them. So let me just show you what that means. So see, for this one, there's no group. So when you go into your registration configuration status for this, just let you know if there's any errors anywhere. So that is a brief overview of short courses, and you now know in general set up for short courses, and then you can have learners applying online, or you can capture the data internally. I hope that you found this useful.